MeTV 24 Meridian proudly presents your favorite way to start the day. Welcome to Mornings with Scotty Ray and Candace.
And good morning, Scotty Ray and Candace, as we were trying to recall that Blondie song from yesterday that was brought up. I just can't remember what the name of it was. But I woke up at 2 o'clock with that song in my head, and I couldn't shake it, and I thought, I'm going to get Candace. It's all her fault.
And I didn't think about it after that. I'm the one that said that I was. I said it was going to be stuck in my head. But now I've got like 2 or 3 other ones stuck in my head that she sang, and now I can't get rid of that.
Oh my gosh! Anyway, somebody, and y'all, I'll be ashamed doing this to me. Sent me. This is off the new Alan Jackson CD called "Sweet." Where have you gone? Sweet country music. Have you heard that? Where have you gone? Ooh, you want to talk about traditional, great country music? It's shocking just how good it is. If y'all hadn't heard that yet, Google it today up on the YouTube.
Song?
Yeah, brand new.
Okay,
good. It's haunting. I'm like, go Jack. Ooh, go boy, go. I like it there. Let's see here. Andrew Dabbs is up today. How are you? Also, who else we got here? Miss Laura Lee is up.
Mm-hmm. Jane Smith, good morning. Sandy White, good morning to you.
I hope she got her makeup on today. I'm telling you, I got a report last week that she didn't have it all on. Went up into work and people were talking.
She's probably beautiful without
Sandy.
it. So, yeah. Goodness.
We do hope everybody is doing wonderful today. If you hadn't told us where you're watching from, we'd love to hear from you. Michael Galloway watching us from Union, Mississippi. Also, we got, what is that, Newton, is that right?
Debbie Pohl from Newton, Mississippi, and Thomas Rogers from DeKalb.
You know, I hate to admit when I get something wrong, but I had to. As you well know, I've had this little vision problem here lately, and I hadn't had my surgery yet.
When do you get that?
I think it's going to be sometime this month.
Okay.
And my printer ran out. So what do? You put a new cartridge in it. I thought even I could do that. Mm-hmm. Well, I found the package, and I put it in there. I put the computer flunky back together, and it wouldn't do anything. And then I tore it apart, put it back in like 4 times. By then, I've got ink all over I still got black stuff all over my thumbs.
Yeah.
Then my shirt got it.
Goodness.
Then I had to give in and ask my wife to come fix it because I know I'll hear it forever. And you know what the problem was?
What?
I couldn't see, and I was putting the wrong cartridge in.
Oh.
I mean, flat out. It said black.
And you're working on vehicles.
Yeah, it's scary, isn't it? Some of the things.
Goodness.
Good morning to everyone. I hope your day is full. We got a lot to talk about. If you're headed out this morning, we do have a roadblock. Portions of Meridian are blocked off right now. 65th Avenue is what we're going to talk about. Mm-hmm. We will turn, if you're coming down Highway 19, turn in front of Lee's Donut. You come to that second stop sign there where the restaurant is, or you can take a left to go back to, 19. Mm-hmm. From there, toward the interstate on North Frontage Road is closed off because of a fuel spill this morning. Mm-hmm. As we look at this, where you can see the map a little bit better, right there is what we're talking about. Here's that 4-way stop. All of this area here to the frontage road. This is going to be Queen City Truck Stop, and this is where Maples Gas is. Okay. Now, the fuel spill is contained. It didn't get out of the containment area, which is great. They did that to be precautious so that no sparks or anything could cause a problem because it was a large smell of gasoline. Happened about 10 o'clock last night.
Okay.
Probably good 4 hours still to go before cleanup is complete.
All right, so you got to go to work that way. You might like to the guard base.
Yeah, a lot of people cut through there. Mm-hmm. In that little store at that 4-way stop, I know there's a lot of people that stop and get biscuits there. Mm-hmm. I've had 1 or 2 from them. Sausage biscuits, pretty good there. Overnight, let's talk about a few things that went on. We did have a wreck, where you're getting off I-20, Harbor Freight 22nd Avenue, mm-hmm. right there. There was a wreck there last night that blocked traffic for a little while. And then also back out on Highway 80 West, there was a wreck, another single car coming around a curve, lost control, flipped upside down near the stockyards. Now, our next thing that we want to discuss, and I went over this earlier this morning, it does not get any sadder than what we're going to tell you on this, of a death in Meridian as we pull this up from propane. Mm-hmm. This happened, I knew about the fire, but I thought it was a brush fire. I didn't hear much about it, and it was like a small structure that caught on fire, and I didn't pay any attention.
Yeah.
But it turns out it was a grass fire that came from the camper. And the more we dig into this, they still don't know who this man is. Now, this was also out here near the stockyards on Highway 80 West is where this fire took place. They do not know who the man is that lost his life. Mm-hmm. From what I'm told, he was a homeless gentleman that somebody was helping and let him stay in a camper. He was keeping his heat on by propane. Somehow or another.
In the camper.
We don't know if it was a towed-in bottle, if he didn't have it screwed on right, and then we don't know that. The fire marshals and all that are investigating of how the gas was leaking, but it exploded, and he lost his life. Condolences to all involved in that. But it's so sad to be somewhere and no one know your name.
Yeah, that is so sad.
Breaks my heart.
Because you don't know where people are from. I mean, just because they're sitting on the street in Meridian or wherever. I mean, you don't know if they're from our area or not.
But someone was trying to help him, and
it's so sad, though.
It is. We can't stress that enough. We do hope they figure this out. I talked about this morning. Also, this happened. We found out yesterday morning as we were getting off that there were some cars broken into in the Collinsville area. A lot of guns. Lake Ross Collins was hit hard Sunday night is when it all went down. We find out afterwards that this truck had been stolen. Let's take a look at this. If you see this pickup truck, now this has got a camper shell on it. That's a hard shell is what that is. It's a Chevrolet pickup truck. I don't know the exact year, but looking at it looks like the Batman style. So we're going to go with 04 to 06 era there. The tag number is LA1 4977. I also talked about this. This is people's livelihood, how they get back and forth to work. And you got somebody stealing.
Yeah.
I don't like it, and you don't like it.
I can't stand it.
The further we dig into this, the worse this little scenario gets, because I've heard other people tell me this, that a car will get stolen in town. Then they go rob people, shoot up things in Meridian, and steal other cars with the stolen cars so it won't be traced back to them. And bet you 9 out of 10, this is a connection on this. As we go to this, I got a note from a young lady last night that said, hey, my car was stolen while I was at work on Sunday night. She worked at Anderson's. Her car was parked in the Anderson's parking garage. Let's show you the car here. And I thought at first it was a Toyota, but the more I look at that, that's a Hyundai. That's a silver Hyundai. And I just eyeballed it one time. And as we go with this, if you've seen this car, and let me show you the rear of the car. And here's the tag numbers. Alabama plates. NAH 115. Alabama plates. She'd love to have her car back. But here's the tie-in. Her car was stolen from the parking garage. Later, she gets a call that her driver's license had been found in somebody's yard in Snowden Hills. So that backs up the story of they steal a car, go rob other people with that car so that it won't be traced to them, and then they dump that car somewhere.
Yeah.
So be on the lookout in the Collinsville area. Very likely that car is off the road, or they come back to town and drove it down the road and got out and just walked off.
Right.
Probably not in a chop shop. You can never tell. But these people are getting very, very organized with what they do and how they do it.
Yeah. I want to put a gate up at the end of our driveway.
Well, I get it.
I mean, seriously.
And do you live down this area? Why are you passing my house? There's a lot of people thinking that these days.
We live on like a little cut-through road, and we'll have most of the time if you don't live on our road, or you don't live on a road right next to us, there's,
Well, the FedEx guy calls them and says, "Hey, in about 3 weeks, I'm going to come back through with a package."
I'm not talking about that, but yeah. But if you see vehicles on your road when you live on somewhere like we do, you know who is not, usually coming down through there and who is.
Because everybody, you can be around talking, they go, well, who is that passing by our house? They ain't got no business.
I
can't tell you how many times.
Did you see that? And then to be on the phone, did you see that red car going down the road?
And we brought this up. In your neck of the woods, create you, and whether you want to call it a neighborhood watch or not, make a text that goes to 6, 7, 8, 10 people that live in your community where you do, to where if you see something, you type it out and you hit enter, and it goes to all of those people. Yeah. So they're aware of it. We got to put a stop to these people doing all of this.
Yep.
I'm tired of it. It's just one thing after another. Clark County, we go to Highway 512 this afternoon. This happened yesterday afternoon. Let's show this. If you were without power for a little while last night, this is why. Mustang took out a light pole, and they had to replace the light pole later. I mean, it looks so bad, it knocked his shoe off.
Yeah, it looked like he was trucking right on along.
Yeah.
Fast to split the light pole like that.
That would give you a serious headache. Of course, it comes from Clark County Hot Topics. We appreciate everything they do.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's why you were without power for a little while last night as they worked on all of that. Now, on the way, we're going to talk about the weather and what we're expected. Now, another thing that happened yesterday, shots were reported in several locations around town. And this has become all too common. When I say Arthur Street, what is Arthur Street? Well, this is just off Highway 19. Back in there, a lot of activity goes in there. Yeah. If you get off the interstate, exit 151, and you're headed toward College Park, and you come up to that first red light there, that's 5th Street. Okay. On the right is a gas station, and then to the right, that's 5th Street that cuts across there. Mid-South Welding sits there. They heard gunshots yesterday afternoon. A couple guys were in the back working, and first, they thought the building had been hit.
Yeah.
It had not. But someone did pass by, either shot up in the air or something to that neck of the woods. A few minutes later, a car would be shot several times. That was on 45th Avenue. Same people, most likely, that done that damage. Now, no one was hurt in any of this, but no one has business riding around our streets, our town, our America, shooting like this.
Well, how scary is that to be at a welding place? And, you got tanks.
Yeah.
I mean, what if a tank was...
Yeah, don't be shooting up in there. Because, before, not long ago, one of their trucks were stolen. That was a concern. You don't run around with oxygen acetylene and speed with that.
Right.
Very careful.
Yes.
But criminals just don't care. I also had shots reported yesterday afternoon near Village Apartments. Also with that, no one was hurt. It's just been numerous little, I think it's more or less these things of just to show you I can do it.
Yeah, in your face, like I said,
Yeah. Well, that's something to think on there. We've got a lot more coming up to tell you what's going on in the community. Don't rush off, because you're going to want to know all of this as we begin our day. Let's take a minute and talk about our girls over here, because women really like this day that is, 13 days from today? I think it is. And Honeysuckles, the Floral Boutique.
That's right. If you have not put an order in for something for Valentine's Day for your significant other.
Is that how you say it? Significant? Come on over here, significant honey.
Could be your wife or your girlfriend. I guess some guys might get flowers, if you want to
possibly there.
Your guy some flowers.
2626 North Hill Street is where you'll find them. And that's what the front of the building looks like. Now, when you walk inside, you'll find stuff like this.
You can get roses. I'm sure they have an array of different flowers, but if you want something that looks different, it's not like everybody else's stuff, give them a call.
That's right.
I mean, they can make some really pretty arrangements.
Order early. They can stick a lot of little different things in there. If you got a birthday, wedding, anniversary, anything like that you need a little happy, they do that. They're full-service florists, as they call it there. It sticks out. You can't miss them there. Wedding events, if you're going to tie the knot and never get to leave home again, this is where you get the flowers today.
That's right. Prom. The prom's coming up.
Oh, yeah, that's called, how you say that word?
What?
That thing that...
a corsage.
Yeah.
Or a boutonniere.
I couldn't say corsage for whatever reason that is. But they'll help you with that. Pick out the color, match your dress there. And again, for sympathy, this does happen from time to time. Right. You want to let someone know that you're thinking of them during their time. Talk to them there. They'll fix you up.
They have the green plants also if you don't want to send flowers.
Yeah.
A lot of people like to have green plants so they can keep them throughout the year.
And, of course, if you need a happy, as we brought this up, they've got there. Remember, order early as we get really, really close to Valentine's Day. Get that somebody something special. They're going to be open on Super Bowl Sunday to help you out with that. Again, they're located at North Hill Street, 2626. Call them, 453-3055. Visit them. They'll take care of you.
On June 30th, 2021, the FDA alerted the public that Philips recalled certain CPAP devices due to concerns regarding its polyester-based polyurethane sound abatement foam. This is a Class 1 recall, the most serious type of recall. Use of these devices may cause serious injuries or death. If you're diagnosed with long-term, permanent, and life-threatening health complications, your illness may be linked to your use of a Philips breathing device, and you may be entitled to compensation. Call Richard Swartz & Associates for a case evaluation today.
And welcome back with Scotty Ray and Candace on a Tuesday morning. Any big plans for the rest of the week?
I'm just working. I will say yesterday, we were getting a roof put on our house. Well, they had brought the shingles out. We didn't know when they were coming.
Yeah.
Well, yesterday they came. We didn't know they were coming yesterday to start. But from the time I left home and come and did the show, went back home, I had no roof on the house. Like, they are that fast. I mean, they took all the shingles off.
That's good.
And they were still working on it, but they mean business now. They get started on the roof. But that's what we're getting a roof done. We had a refrigerator delivered yesterday.
Do you know how long it take me to do a roof? It kills me to even put one on a shoot house. There is no way. I had a good friend that was good. I could not be a roofer. I respect you guys.
Oh, yes.
Walking them down a ladder with a bundle on your shoulder, have mercy.
I said, if we build a house, this is the crew we need to build a house. So you get it done in no time. But I think they'll be done today. I don't know. It's kind of looking that way.
Well, let's hope so, because my next subject makes you want to be done early as we throw this up. This comes to us from the National Weather Service. Heavy rain and flooding is in your future on Thursday. Now, we're going to get rain tomorrow, but flooding, let me remind you, come Thursday. As we come here and look at this is the chance for severe weather. Is what we've got here. It's going to be in Clark County, the closest to it. Let's go into radar and get you closer so you'll know and feel more comfortable about what's going on. Now, we're dealing with Mother Nature, which means this has a possibility to change because we're 2 weeks ago of where the lines are. But as we go here, let's zoom in on this where everybody can see what's happening here. We pull in on our radar. This is Clark County. Let's turn on locations where you'll know where you live. We go into this. This is going to be right through the middle of Stonewall. This is a level 1 due south of Stonewall, taking in Clarko State Park, all of downtown Quitman, Shabuta, these areas over to Gilbertown, Alabama. Butler is the line in Alabama there, and east across. As we come over here also, all the way over here to the Raleigh Courthouse. Is going to be in this level 1. North of there, it's going to be some rain. We're going to get anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of rain, most likely. So don't discount, that's Scotty Ray just talking. You're going to get wet. Now, let's discuss one other thing. I got a picture I wanted to show here because there has been talk of bad weather. There's a huge snow and ice storm that is going to barely miss us. And let me show you what the findings are at this point. It's not going to be near the Meridian area.
Unless it moves.
Yeah, let me knock on wood because there's not going to be any snow, as we said last time. This is what is predicted at this point. It's going to come across Texas, take in some portions of Tennessee. This is a wintry mix. This is all the heavier stuff is expected right here. This could be wintry mix in the northwest corner of Mississippi. None expected for our area, but we always watch. Rain is what is projected for us. I don't want anybody to be caught off guard with this stuff as it comes.
And when is that?
Thursday, as it comes across there. I'll be on top of this, watching this weather a little bit closer for us, because there's nothing more important than your life and weather. And so we'll be telling you more about that as it gets closer there. And again, it will have a little bit of change in between now and then. And tomorrow we find out if Candace sees her shadow. We're going to put her out front and see if she sees her shadow or not. Punxsutawney Phil will make his appearance tomorrow. They make a big grand thing. And I guess people can actually go see him this year, can't they?
I don't know. Maybe.
Pennsylvania. Is where to take place. They make a big deal out of it. And 105 times he has seen his shadow, and only 20 times did he not. I remember as a kid he didn't, but odds are, Phil's going to see his shadow. And I think they used to do one from Atlanta, and I think his name was General Beauregard, if I'm correct. And I'm not sure if the general still does his or not from Atlanta.
It's really neat to watch this, if y'all have never watched that, when he comes out, because they're dressed, how the guys are dressed. Have you seen
top
that?
Hats.
The top hats, and just kind of like takes you back in time. You know, the way they're dressed. Really neat.
Do those things bite you?
I don't know, but he's got some claws.
I was just curious.
It looks like he can tear you up.
If anybody had ever reached their hand in there and he bit hold to it.
I don't know. He must be a tame groundhog.
I don't know anything about groundhogs. I've never had one as a pet for sure, but it has made that town millions to have that little fellow there come out every year and do that.
Yeah. He's cute, though.
Yeah.
I don't want him for a pet or anything.
I
wouldn't want one.
But if Candace goes out and sees her shadow, we'll discuss that. We ought to start that new tradition there.
Okay. Walk out and see my shadow.
She is going to go off on me later. I know it's coming. Chris McDaniel, I think a lot of us, I mentioned this earlier also, we think Chris McDaniel may take another shot at being a senator. Really? Odds are he's going to run. He may get it. I was really hoping he'd go for the governorship myself.
I was fixing to say he'd make a good governor. I really think he would.
He would. The man is straightforward. He tells you, he's one of those, when he tells you something, you can do it on a handshake, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. There's not many people like that left in this world, that when they tell you something, it's done. But he seems to be that guy. One term Tate.
Maybe he thinks he could get more done as a senator.
Maybe so.
You know.
We do need good senators representing us, not ones that smiles in our face and then they go to Washington and they forget that they're from Mississippi at all, and they hang out with other pals there and they make deals. We need somebody that'll stand up for you and me. We do. Did you realize we have a shortage of 3,000 nurses in the state of Mississippi? 3,000. And the more I read into this about the shortage is, with this, what they do is they take away beds because they don't have enough personnel to do it, so it makes not as many people can fit in the hospital. How are we going to fix this? I don't know. I hope the governor gets on this. And Joe's mandate certainly is not helping the situation.
I think that has a lot to do with it. You know, I do. I think that a lot of people who were feeling pressured to get the vaccine, and you know, they had to have it by a certain date or what. You know, I think that they're. You know, they don't want to be told what to do, especially the ones who didn't have the vaccine for so long before it was available.
Yeah.
And they worked every day, went to work, risked their lives, you know. Some got sick, some didn't. Some got sick, got over it. Some got sick. I know there were some nurses that passed away. But I just don't think that you should, I don't think this vaccine thing should determine if you keep your job, shouldn't determine if you get a heart, if you need it and you're on a list and you were accepted to get a heart, and then they say, oh, you know, because this is happening. And I also read yesterday where somebody that needed, I think it was he needed a kidney transplant, also was not going to be able to get it. I think that's so wrong. In so many ways, that's so wrong.
Well, here's a prime example of this. When I had my heart surgery of a gentleman, a nurse, what's that thing they put down your throat there when you don't know what you're doing, you can't breathe on your own? The tube or whatever. He done all that.
Intubated.
Yeah, he sat with me during all of that and told me about it a few weeks later. And I didn't know anything about that. He's quit. He has gone to school, resigned from that to become a lineman, and just changed careers. And that's what is happening.
Yeah.
Thank God he was there when I needed him.
Oh, yeah. And thank God for the people who are nurses or who have been nurses. I mean, or any kind of a medical, in the medical field.
Yeah.
You know, thank goodness for them. Any kind of first responders, you know.
Betsy says it's all about how they have the lighting on whether or not if the groundhog sees his shadow. And apparently that is true with some of you Facebook profile pictures of the way the lighting is done and the way you try to make yourself look. I'm just telling how it is. I was out
filters. Filters help so much. Thank God we got one on here.
I was out at Freeman Tractor. They were holding court again. It's kind of like Cheers. If you need a place to go get caught up on what's going on in the community, drop by and see them at Freeman Tractor. They got some lawnmowers in. Occasionally they sell them. I went in to look at a lawnmower and left with a truck a few weeks ago. You got to be careful out there. They'll sell you something that you don't even know is going to happen to you.
Goodness.
And saw Mr. Wonderful there who'd moved to the community. Glad to have him there. Whoopi, let's talk about this. Folks, and I've heard this theory before floating around. You know, there's several theories. The Holocaust happened. There were 6 million Jews that were killed because they were Jewish. I don't care how you strike. They were starved to death. They were put in gas chambers. The most horrible things that you can imagine. And they're trying to take this out of history books now. This didn't happen. Some of these people want to put out there, oh, that was all just made up. It's like the moon landing. That is not true. Whoopi Goldberg made a statement this week that that it was not about race.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. They were killed because they were Jewish. She claimed it was white on white murder. No. They were Jewish people that were killed strictly because of their religion.
Right.
That is so wrong. We cannot let history repeat.
Running her mouth.
Oh, I know.
I'm sorry. She's just, that's an ignorant comment right there.
It's bad.
And she deserves, I know there's people who are calling for her to be fired. I think she should be fired. I mean, that's not the only comment she's ever made. And this is what I'm tired of. I'm tired of people like that who continually run that mouth about stuff, saying things that are offensive. And then, okay, I'm sorry. After somebody's got on to them or said something to them, about her. Some people have been in an uproar about it. She thinks she can issue an apology and it's supposed to just go away. And I understand that people do make mistakes.
Yeah, we all do.
But that wasn't a mistake. That was a thought out what I'm going to say. She knew the topic before she ever went on the air.
Well, since then, now that you bring that up, she has come out and said that she's sorry. She's made an apology. She said that
she needs to
it was a misunderstanding is what she said. Do we believe her? I don't know about all that.
No, that's just horrible, though. I mean, that was a horrible, horrible thing that happened. And for her to make that comment.
Now, she's defended Bill Cosby, saying that he was innocent. I think most people agree that he had that. Jay-Z, I don't keep up with him. And then have you ever known, I personally have never known Mel Gibson to be racist. They jumped on her on something that I think Mel Gibson is, he's Catholic. He has here in the last few weeks called out the Catholic Church and said, y'all need to do something within the church to straighten out all the problems with the priest. And we all know what problem I'm talking about. I don't see any reason or anything wrong with Mel speaking up saying that.
Yeah.
I had someone text me the other day that, and I got a laugh out of it. Nothing hurts my feelings. I have been in the media long enough to where things don't shake me. But somebody was making fun of us, and they called us. We weren't The View, and so they sent me this and said, "We're not The View, but it'll do." So I thought we'd share that with you. Now, do I have a strong, and I think Candace does as well, a strong, what I guess politically in America they call right. I call it right and wrong. There is no right or wrong. There is right. There's no straddling the fence.
Yeah.
I'm down the middle. And whatever you want to call me that. But I believe in right and wrong, and my guide is the Bible. Now, if you don't believe that, then I guess you can call me what you want. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Not The View, but it'll do. Maybe we need to change it to that. It'll do. Let's see.
I believe everybody should be able to voice their opinion. I'm not saying don't voice your opinion. And somebody said freedom of speech. I believe everybody needs to have freedom of speech. But to make a comment like that she made, can you imagine? I mean, I know there's probably not a ton of people who are still, around who had lived through that.
Right, it's not.
But
time does.
Can you imagine the people who, if they would hear something like that, or has family? I mean, people have that
grandfathers
that went through that. It's just make a statement like that. It just kind of it takes away from the severity of it.
And I read where they took a book and they labeled it nudity. And I don't know if you've ever seen this, to where it showed a lady that had been starved to death in her frail body in a history book. It was history. My heart bleeds for those. Go back and watch all this. Diary of Anne Frank is a great place to start. Just thinking there. We learned more about this, and this young lady that was Miss USA in 2019 jumped to her death. We talked about this yesterday morning. Her family are devastated over this, and apparently she was bothered by negative comments that people made online. Be careful with people.
Oh, yeah.
Some people can't handle that. On the other hand, I can handle it. You can say what you want, it'll be okay. But not everybody does well with that, and it got the best of her. There was a string of other things, but that was one of the problems that we learned. Just so sad.
It is a sad thing.
Well, we hate that. Condolences to her family. That has to be one of the worst things that you can imagine there. Let's talk about our friends at Maple's One Stop Shop. They've got a bunch of places in town for you to stop and get fueled up today. They'll be there, and they're going to give you a clean, convenient store that doesn't have any dirt in it. That's what they do. They keep it nice for you. You go to the restroom there, it's all nice and sparkly. Even when you get into where the coffee machines are with the cold coffee there in Broadmoor, or if you want the hot coffee, you can get that 6 cup of coffee free just by having your card punched every time. But as you'll notice, the counters are free. And that was a surprise inspection right there when I took that picture.
Was it?
Yep. Out of nowhere. Whoop, there I was. Clean, perfect, all of this. They work hard to be there for you. Drop in and visit with them. All these employees are really hard-working people there. From sun drops to an orange drink or an RC Cola, they've got that inside for you. Including, now they're working out in the Collegeville area to have the new kitchen put in to where they'll be cooking before long. That's coming.
Nice.
Yeah. Also, pizza, great price on that. If you need a lottery ticket, plenty to choose from there. It might be your lucky day. See them. Again, they've got 6 locations scattered all across town. Visit with them. They'll save you some money along the way. That's Maple's One Stop Shop. See them today. They'll help you out there. Rock House Gun and Pawn is open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Lots of different calibers and brands to choose from when it comes to hunting rifles. Whether you're looking for a new pump shotgun or an AR, the Rock House will have the gun that you need, with a huge selection of ammunition for just about any caliber that you may be looking for. Pistols, scopes, and a whole lot more. Plus a private lobby for your confidentiality when it comes to your pawns. Rock House Gun and Pawn, located at 5430 Highway 19 North Meridian.
I spent weeks in the hospital due to a careless driver. I could no longer afford to do it alone. I knew I needed help.
I'm Mississippi Attorney Richard Schwartz. I'm proud to represent the people of the great state I call home.
And welcome back with Scotty Ray and Candace. We do hope your morning is treating you so well today. Boy, this time flying by. Let's go back and
it's right on by every morning.
Go down some history here and see a few things. All right, let's pull this up. This is always a test on Candace.
Candace always fails it.
We go back to 1861. Today is the day that Texas seceded from the Union. 1861, they would be the 7th state to do so. 4 years later, we would find out that, well, this guy here, Sherman, had made it to South Carolina. Upon this date, he was getting ready to make his way across South Carolina. Now, as I've mentioned many, many times, history is always written by the victor. A lot of folks say, well, Sherman was this great person that went in and freed people and done all this. They went through and burned homes. It didn't matter the color of your skin. They raped women. They done some very bad things across this. They made lives very bad. If you haven't read history, you don't know what I'm talking about. It had nothing to do with, they were there to destroy and hurt people. And they did do that across South Carolina. It was horrible. We can't discuss that enough. 1937, Don Everly. You ever heard of him?
Yes, I have.
Wake up a little Susie. He was born on this date, 1937. Look like somebody you'd have dated? See, she just never knows the next question.
Candace's dating life is off limits. Okay.
I like to go back and go, what would you have done, Candace?
She's married now, so she ain't worried about the date.
This gentleman was born a Yankee, but he would be forever known as a Southerner. Now, how does that happen? Well, Cosette's, Ohio, where he was born. I stood there and looked at it. They had this big statue out front with everybody famous mentioned there. It was on a Sunday afternoon. I was bored riding around, stopped at the courthouse on this huge hill. His name was engraved there. But he was so good at what he done, no one would ever know that he wasn't born right here in the South. And I'm talking Clark Gable. He was born on this date back in 1901. And one of the most famous views, when you see that down that staircase, you know it's Captain Brett Butler. So, one of my all-time heroes there. I liked him. 1940. Oh, this is, boy, Candace is all over this. She went
Scotty
around.
Ray, this needs to be your new outfit. You can stick a cowboy hat with that.
Oh, Rick James was born on this date. If you're watching going, who is Rick James? He was the guy that's saying she's a very freaky girl, the kind you don't take home to mama. Now, if I am not mistaken, Rick has passed away. Don't. That's all I knew by that. The one song, he may have had plenty more, but I sure didn't know about it. Just thought y'all might want to know. This would change.
That super freak.
Yeah, she's a super freak. This would become history in the making. Back in 1949, by making this, it became men who didn't want to go home because they hung out at the bar and wasted quarters and dimes, and they didn't want to leave. It made Hank Williams what he was, and this would carry on for years. 1949, on this date, the very first 45 RPM record was printed, and that would make the jukebox so popular because it'd pick it up, throw it there. And of
I
course,
wish I had an old jukebox.
Oh, they're beautiful.
I know. I wish I had one. That would be so neat.
It would be. So as you listen to a jukebox somewhere, and they go for a lot of money these days. Let's see. 1964, he became a star. And this song ended after 16 weeks. It was number one for 16 weeks on the chart. This would be the last day that it was number one. And we're talking Buck Owens and Love's Gonna Live Here Again. Big song back in the day.
I liked Buck Owens.
And the Buckaroos. You know, Buck went on to own lots and lots of radio stations across America. And then, of course, Hee Haw made him a household name. Love that show. Can't do it. It was also another young lady that was born on this date back in 68. Pretty close to our age. Anybody remember this young lady?
Yes, Lisa Marie Presley. Yeah, I heard this morning it was her birthday.
Even had an airplane named after her. You can still go visit that. The Lisa Marie sits there in Memphis, Tennessee. Now, I'm not sure if they've stolen the wheels off of it since it's been parked there or not, but I hear there's some crime down that street these days. Elvis Presley Boulevard is where you can find that. I still got this in my music catalog. We do have those one-hit wonders, but boy, this was a good song. I hadn't heard from her since. She may still be performing, but I know her for one song and one song only. Anybody remember a young lady named Julie Roberts? Her big song was Break Down Here. Mile marker number, whatever it was.
I hadn't heard that song.
I'd sure hate to break down here. I'll play that for you sometime. Bring back a memory or two.
Yeah.
But a good song. But she celebrates a birthday, born in 74 on this date. Now, I still hadn't come up with the song that we had yesterday from Blondie. What was that song that we talked about? Because I wasn't a rock and roll kind of guy, but we talked about it yesterday, and I woke up humming it this morning.
I don't remember the song from yesterday, but I do remember the Call Me song.
Yeah, Blondie had a number one song back in 1980 on this date also. Candace used to say this to all the boys. Call me. Call me.
No, I did not.
It may have even been how they wrote the song.
Look, I'm going to start picking on Scotty Ray. I'm going to start thinking up some stuff.
It kind of fits, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Call me. Makes you wonder how
I think Scotty Ray was doing that.
Call me.
Telling all the girls, call me.
No, because it was
call me.
It was impolite.
I know you like my boots.
For
call
girls
me.
to call you, so you had to call them. And I was horrible at remembering numbers, if you'll remember that. And I'd get numbers mixed up. 1982, this would be the night that he would debut on the David Letterman show. Do you remember this?
He debuted?
Yep, 1982, the David Letterman show.
I don't remember the first show. No, I don't remember that. But I do remember watching him. And I remember, I don't know, did y'all watch David Letterman? Did you ever watch him?
Yeah, some of it.
After he had his surgery, remember he had a heart attack or something? He just was never the same. Did you ever kind of think that?
You're absolutely right.
He just was never as funny.
Spunky.
And yeah, it's just like his whole personality changed.
Thank you, Teresa Whitaker. It was The Tide is High.
Okay, yeah.
And what was in that line that kept coming back to me last night as I was laying there? I'm not that kind of girl. And I don't know what come after it next, but that was popping through my head. I'm going like, why have I got this song? And I kept blaming Candace. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. And
I just never even thought about it after the show. But now
you left up.
I guess I'm going to have to pull up some songs.
LaWanda said, of course, the big line there from my hero, frankly, my dear, I don't give up.
Yeah. Penny Tyndall says, One Way or Another. You remember that song?
One way or
another.
Yeah. Did she sing that also?
I'm going to get you. Yeah. Yeah, she sung that.
I did not know that. Do you know, and of course, I am by far country, but one of the songs that I think of outside of my realm of music, you remember that song? And he was kind of like a one-hit wonder, too. Jesse's Girl.
Yeah.
Jesse is a friend.
Rick Springsteen.
Field.
Springfield, not Rick Springsteen.
Rename him. It's okay. But that was a
Rick
really good
Springsteen
song.
and Bruce Springfield. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Rick Springfield. And he was on some soap operas.
He sure was.
Yeah, he acted.
It was 2004 that you'd be sitting down about right now watching tonight, watching the Super Bowl. And this would be, did I just see that?
Yeah.
And you would kind of like hold your sweet tea there and stare at the TV for just a moment. And you did see a breasticus right up there. It just jumped out at you.
Look, and this is before it happened. So,
Right.
and look, he's looking down. You know they knew what was fixing to happen. That was a planned thing. That was not an accident.
And I'm not going to describe the scene, but it did shock me too. I was exposed, and y'all were too. It scared me. I don't know about y'all. Woo! 2013, this was a great show, but they drew a line, and I have a line when you finally cross enough of them. I love the show up into this. House of Cards debuted back in 2013, but it got to a point to where they kept pushing their agenda to where I said, I got to go. And I never watched the ending of the series. But Frank there was exactly what the politicians are in Washington. Crude, mean, and do anything it takes to get ahead.
Yeah. Kevin Spacey is an odd guy. Even in the movies, he always plays that kind of odd character. And then after I found out all the stuff about him,
Hitting on guys.
Yeah, it kind of just...
Yeah. Denise Palmer said it was General Hospital that Rick, would you rename him?
Rick Springsteen.
That's where he got his start. He was a doctor or something there.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And Roy says he hates it when he gets a song hung in his head. I had 16th Avenue hung in my head the other afternoon.
Oh, really?
Some golden words rolled off someone's tongue on 16th Avenue. You remember that?
No.
Lacey J. Dalton.
If I heard the song, I probably would. I have to hear the exact version, of the song. So. Yeah,
boy, I sure liked her. But that's the way it goes. More coming up here with Scotty Ray and Candace is, what time is it here? 8:44 or something
41.
like that. 41. I'm close on time. I didn't have it exact. I'm telling y'all, this vision
We're
thing
going to put a magnifying glass over here.
I need magnifiers.
We need one of those big clocks about this big right there.
Angie sends me to get stuff, and I drag home things that isn't what it is.
Do you operate the remote control?
No, because I don't know how to.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, we're going to buy you one of those big. Have you seen those big remote controls?
Yeah.
Like this? I claimed one time I was going to do that, and because ours kept getting lost, and I'm like, I'm buying one of those jumbo ones.
Well, there's one for the cable. There's one for the volume. There's one to turn it on.
I know. That's how ours is.
And then they went and changed up the dang remote. You remember the big silver ones with the red button that said guide? Yeah. That new one, it blends in. I can't find guide on it anywhere.
I used to like when you could go buy a universal remote that operated everything.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you can do that now, but anyway.
Well, as we turn to look at other things happening in our community, one of our close friends and allies, well, it's going to be Chet's Paint and Body. He's an ally because he takes care of your car no matter what has happened to it. Well, if you've gotten a bump, a scratch, especially with these pesky deer. Now, they're going to be running everywhere the next few weeks with it being cold and nobody, stirring them up with ammo. They're going to be eating on the side of the road, so be careful there. But if you happen to have a little bump, a dent from a deer, see in there. They've got deer specialists there.
Yes, they do. They can fix it up just right and make it look brand new.
Yeah, whether you've accidentally slammed the door up beside of it, and of course our friend there that drove his golf cart and knocked his door off his truck, it happens.
Right.
Grandkids run into things.
Blue garbage cans because nobody puts them back where they go.
Yeah. Maybe you accidentally ran into somebody or somebody backed up on top of your truck. Aluminum beds, they fix those as well. Whatever the case is, if you want an honest person that's going to, stand behind what he says, Chet's Paint and Body. They're located in Center Hill. You don't get any better than this. They stand by what they do. Color matching that's incredible. Your car won't be two-tone when you get it back. It'll look just like it did before. Highway 495, call them at 737-2961. Insurance claims are welcome, and they'll help you with the process of that and get you going. That's all happens there at Chet's Paint and Body. Visit them today. They'll help you out.
I spent weeks in the hospital due to a careless driver. I could no longer afford to do it alone. I knew I needed help.
I'm Mississippi Attorney Richard Schwartz. I'm proud to represent the people of the great state I call home.
Sanders Gas, Sanders Air and Heat is your full-service propane supplier since 1946. We take pride in ensuring reliable, friendly service to our customers. We also provide safety tune-ups related to propane, air conditioning, and heating systems, keeping our community efficient and safe. I'm Chuck Sanders, and yes, we're local.
Afraid so. And welcome back. I was talking, wasn't I? Scotty Ray and Candace on this early Tuesday morning. We've got another 16, 17 minutes. Y'all cannot run away. Do not go to the refrigerator and forget what you were watching.
That's right. Or if you do make up yourself a cup of hot cocoa, like somebody said earlier, make sure you drink it before it gets cold.
Yeah.
She said hers got cold. She forgot to drink it. She was watching the show.
Bill said that was a great song about Nashville.
Okay.
I'm telling you, Lacey Jade was just as country as they were. Now, I'm not saying I want to run off with her or anything like that. Mm-hmm. You might want to just, keep her at an angle, but she could sing. I'll give her credit on that. Good morning to Laura Orphan. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate that. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. The U.S. has locked down all federal prisons, and I said federal prisons because 2 members of an MS-13 gang were murdered. Could be some trouble coming, so they put it on lockdown there. No visitors, anything like that going to happen until this clears up. That happened in Texas there. Let's see here. A massive blaze got a town evacuated in North Carolina, and we've seen this happen before out in Texas to where a fertilizer plant catches on fire.
Oh, yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, you better clear the town, and they did that. Everybody's okay, but it was a fire.
I would imagine just that stuff floating in the air would be toxic.
I want to show you. We talk about volunteer firemen and what they do, whether you're volunteer or you do it for a living. It's a very hazardous job. Mm-hmm. And when people that live north of us where it's cold, those guys got to get out in it and work. I want to show you a picture of a fireman. Has anybody ever seen anybody that looked like this? Look at that.
Gosh.
If that ain't cold, I don't know what is.
I hope they got those cold, froze clothes off of him and got him thawed out.
I just,
in a hurry.
Wow.
Goodness.
That was in Massachusetts is where that happened there. They had a fire break out, and boy, those guys, look at the snow there as we turn back to that. Boy, howdy is all I can say on that. And God bless the firemen out there that do what they do.
That's right.
Now, you know a little bit more about this than I do when we turn to Canada there at the border, as we've got the controversy going on with the truckers. They have now raised more money on the GoFundMe site than the local politicians that run the place. They have raised $10 million. And it's all about this vaccine.
Oh, yeah, because they're not going to let them pass the border.
Correct.
That's right, to deliver what they need to deliver. They won't let them pass the border, which is just crazy.
Here's a view of that picture where they've got things blocked. Will it continue? We don't know, but boy, they sure have gotten a lot of money to hold on.
I just don't understand where they have a leg to stand on when, supposedly the vaccine was to not be able to spread it. We got to contain the virus, Well, it's not helping that. So I don't understand the whole severity of somebody not getting it.
And last I checked, truckers stay in their truck by themselves 90% of the time.
Yeah,
just thinking out loud. So what we're hearing now is COVID cases have plummeted. That's really good news there. But there is no end in sight for the restrictions. And when you go to fly, this is the headline this morning about face masks and flying airplanes. You're probably for the next few years going to have to wear a face mask when you get on an airplane. I know a lot of you don't want to hear that. I don't even like the sound of it.
Right.
But that is what is in your future.
I can understand that, though. I would think the air circulates, through the cabin of the plane.
But
unless they have a purifier somewhere in there. I don't know how that works.
We'll find out.
But I would feel better. I hate wearing a mask, but I would feel better if everybody had one on.
I hate them.
I hate them.
I'm that old boy that'd be
They make me feel physically ill.
It does me too.
Seriously.
Makes me moan.
But I have been wearing them at work.
Uh-oh. So. Teresa Whitaker wanting to hear the lineman this morning. Little Glenn Campbell out there. Let's see here. Let me show you. This is some U.S. troops. There's a lot of buildup. We don't know what's going to happen here over the next little bit. But as Putin and Uncle Joe have a standoff here about Ukraine, things are really serious. Let's show you what some of our U.S. soldiers look like. There's 200 of them there. This is one. That's a young man.
From the Florida National Guard.
Yeah, 200. And right across that border sits 130,000 Russians that want to invade. 200 against 130. I'm doing some arithmetic here, and it doesn't sound good.
That does not sound good. I don't understand.
It has escalated. Should we be there? There's a lot of pipeline. There's a lot of oil. When there's money involved, y'all know where I'm going with that. There's something to be said to being a soldier. You go where Uncle Sam sends you, regardless of what you think. You do what you're told. And just here's a picture there of a bird's eye view over a soldier's shoulder. That's a mouth twister. But, that's what they do. And if you ever go back and listen to Toby Keith's American Soldier, pretty strong stuff there. Keep them in mind. Ted Cruz is hinting again that he wants to be president. Ted, I'd just keep those thoughts to myself. Do that because you won't win. But he only says that he would do it if Donald doesn't run. Yeah, and what are the odds of that? Yeah, Ted, stay at the house. I think he would. Ted is a brilliant man, and I said that yesterday, and I think he'd make a great vice president. He'd be handy to have.
Yeah, he probably would.
But I just don't think he's liked enough on all sides to get it. You got to have some charisma about you that makes everybody go, well, I'm not a Republican, but yeah, he's a pretty good old boy.
Yeah.
Ted doesn't give that. I'm not saying he's not a great guy, but the charisma is missing there. It's kind of like going to a concert and that guy that sings just to you, and then the other guy comes out and stands there and plays, and you go, well, I like his music, but he just didn't touch me.
Right.
That's kind of scenario there. Sometimes my scenarios aren't the greatest, but, well, I try. Smoking guns? Pelosi family is what we're talking about here. Her son is connected to a fraud and bribery scheme. Would Nancy's family do that? Of course not. This is probably made
That's
up.
How she buys all her ice cream.
Yeah.
Her gourmet ice cream that she has a refrigerator full of while people starve to death throughout the country.
Trust me, there's crooks on both sides of the aisle. And if you don't believe me, just go back and read history. Whether they're Republican, they're Democrats, there's fraud on each side. But do these people in power pass along information to family members? Yes, they do, and we all know that, even if they write it on a napkin and eat it later where it can't be proved.
Yeah, but it'll be swept under the rug.
Absolutely. Okay. We know that's not going anywhere. You know a little bit more about this. What's her name? Jen
Psaki.
Why don't they just change the spelling of that where I can pronounce it? Take that silent P off of there. But she's the police union is wanting her to apologize for that cackling that she done.
I'm going to call her Jen, circle back again.
There you go.
Circle back again, Jen.
And this deals with the laughing of Americans' concerns over the soft crime policies of safety.
Somebody had said, what they were going to do. What are they going to do about the soft crime policies? And she snickered and said, what does that even mean? She said that all the other networks were, calling it something else. And then I think Fox.
I spent weeks in the hospital.
Ask a question from Fox, and it was about soft crime policies. I mean, it's no,
Right.
I don't know.
Spit it out,
it's not
girl.
A mystery that there is soft crime stuff going on. I mean, the policies. People are getting away with murder. People are getting away with stealing stuff every day, and people want to know what they're going to do about it. And obviously, so far, they hadn't done anything. So,
Blake Clark said our government's shutting down everything except our southern border.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you're right. We all know that's true. That is 100% true there. As we begin this day, let's see here some other things that are happening. We'll give you some more clues as to what the weather is going to be doing as we head toward the top of the hour. But another one of our close allies that I've got here, friends, is going to be our folks over at Snowden and Company Real Estate. Are you looking for a home and you want somebody that's going to work for you? Sell your home, find you a new home, whichever way you're doing this. They've got great salespeople there. Well, and we also got on you and Miss Elizabeth as a part of the team. And as I said, if you want somebody that works for you all the time, that's what you'll find there at Snowden and Company Real Estate. Great people at 453-3937. You can visit online, take a look at the different homes there. They pay attention to detail, little things that will help sell your home. And, well, they remember these details when somebody mentions, hey, I'm looking for a home that has this. It'll get your home taken care of. There at the closing table, it'll be easy because they'll explain it all. Many different homes to choose from. This is one of the homes that's for sale. This is out in the southeast area, and I want to say it's got 100 acres with it. So if you're looking for a big home, I want to say that, if I remember correctly, 11,000 square feet.
Oh,
it's
goodness,
big.
That is a big home.
Big one there. You can bring all your aunts and uncles to live with you. They take care of everybody from Kemper, Lauderdale, Whitman, Clark County, even over to Jackson. If you're looking for a pond, maybe a double wide with a few acres of land, they've got that for you. See them. SnowdenRealEstate.com is where you go. So many people use them. They do. A designated seller and representative and real estate negotiating expert. That's Amanda. She'll stand by what she says as well. See her today on Poplar Springs Drive, 453-3937.
I spent weeks in the hospital due to a careless driver. I could no longer afford to do it alone. I knew I needed help.
I'm Mississippi Attorney Richard Schwartz. I'm proud to represent the people of the great state I call home.
The Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville is passing along these great savings. California Navel Oranges 4-pound bag, $3.99. Large tomatoes, $1.69 a pound. Idaho potatoes, a 8-pound bag, $3.99. Skippy peanut butter, a 16-ounce jar, $2.49. Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, a 28-ounce jar, 2 for $5. And certified Angus beef ribeye steak family pack, $12.99 a pound.
We're down home, down the street, Piggly Wiggly.
And welcome back with Scotty Ray Candace. We brought up firemen a minute ago. A lot of times firemen will call and say, hey, we need some police here before we go into a situation. Well, this was in California. It sounded simple. It was a dumpster that was on fire. The fire truck pulled up to put it out. The next thing you know, the fire chief was murdered. He was shot. As they put simple again. Let's show his picture here. This is this should never happen in America. This gentleman right here, Captain Max Fortena. He was 47 years old at the Stockton Department there.
What? Somebody shoot him.
It was a homeless guy that did. For no reason. Leaves behind a family as well. So we remember him in your thoughts there as you say your prayers. And I'm totally with this Texas sheriff here as he blasts a judge. A woman was drunk. She killed an off-duty cop. He was off-duty walking. She kills him. They have... She's out on bail. She's going to be released. Nothing happening here. And that leads to the next thing that's going on in California. San Quentin, we've all heard of that. That's where they sent Charles Manson, these bad people. They're shutting down death row. They're not going to have any more of that in California because they feel that everyone should live no matter how bad you are. California, they're doing away with that. Now, is that good? I don't think so. I think it's going to lead to other bad things in our country. Now, I want to pull up some video. The headline says, dash cam footage captures driver's wild overreaction as he shoots through his own windshield at a passing car who threw a bottle at him. Now, if somebody throws a bottle at you, that's no big deal. Let's pull this up. But we've got time to show this here. And let me pause. Let me get this up here where we can see this. Let's see here. Let's get down here to where he... All because of a bottle.
Well, it looked to me like he grabbed his gun before the bottle was thrown.
Yeah, I could have edited that down quicker if I'd had time, but... And let me say this about this. If you didn't know this, you can if somebody is coming after you, you can shoot through your windshield. It's not going to hurt. Bullets do go through that. Uncalled for. Way uncalled for. So. But
like I said, I mean, you could hear the bottle.
Yeah.
And it looked like he grabbed his gun because I don't know.
Ridiculous. But that's another one of those things that went on there, just so you'll know about it. We're getting near the top of the hour there before we won't have much time left there. We hope you have a wonderful day. We mentioned a wreck that happened this weekend in Las Vegas. 9 people were killed in the wreck. 7 of those were from one family. Did you know that?
That is awful.
They were in a minivan. And a car blew through a red light running 100 miles an hour. Awful, awful, awful. We are getting near the end of our time. We want to say thank y'all for dropping by and spending a little bit of time with us.
Yes, we appreciate you. We appreciate all your comments and you watching every day and supporting our show. It's always a great thing to hear what y'all have to say.
Laura Lee likes her some Trey Gowdy. I have to agree. He's a pretty good old boy.
I like him too.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to press the issue and ask the questions.
No, he's not. Y'all be good. Have a safe day, and we'll be back tomorrow morning. Remember, we'll be here to let you know anything that happens. Thanks a bunch.
Scotty Ray's Weather is brought to you by